services in Ghana here, Major General Thomas Opompepra, who is the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frederick Bequin, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Issa Yakubu. On behalf of the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the government and people of Ghana, let me say that I'm extremely glad to be invited here at the extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to speak to you on a very important matter such as this. My dear generals, officers, our nation, our various nations, that is our sub-region, ECOWAS, again is facing crisis that we thought over the last 15 years had disappeared. When all 50 members of the ECOWAS countries had chosen the path of democracy and had civilian governments, ECOWAS became the toast of the international community and the investor world. Remember that in Africa, our region in the past had been developed by coup d'etats and military takeovers, whilst other regions did not have same. The southern and eastern countries had relatively been very peaceful, and whilst we were creating issues for ourselves, they were busily, ladies and gentlemen, attracting investments. The result is that our people were there for the worst. But today, our nations within West Africa are sliding again into the era that we thought would never come. That is why it is clear to all of us that the security of the sub-region is going through one of the most difficult moments after the challenges in the 60s, the 70s, and particularly the 90s, when rebel incursions destabilized parts of the West African sub-region. And in recent times, the scourge of terrorist armed groups and violent extremist groups have rocked the Sahel region of West Africa. As stated already, the populations of these countries have been affected by these activities, and the people are paying heavy price. Loss of human lives, deterioration of critical infrastructure, school dropouts are abandoned, lingering humanitarian crisis, and states are gradually losing large tracts of their territory to these unfortunate incidents. Who now control and carry out various criminal activities and continue to conduct illicit cross-border trafficking. ECOWAS can only be weaker by these acts. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, 4 of our member states are now facing sanctions for resorting to unconstitutional change of government, which contradicts the ECOWAS protocol on good governance and democracy. It will be recalled that following the extraordinary summit of the authority of heads of state and government of the ECOWAS in Abuja, Nigeria, on the 10th of August 2023, convened sequel to the recent illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum by members of the Presidential Guard in the Republic of Niger, on July 26, 2023, ECOWAS deployed all diplomatic efforts to resolve the crisis. But as already stated, the head of the military junta in Niger remained defiant after the expiration of the one-week ultimatum given for the restoration of constitutional order in Niger. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS heads of state and government on the political situation in Niger, which was held on the 10th of August in Abuja, our heads of state and government directed the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to immediately activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements for the deployment to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. The heads of states and government issued a communique which was signed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria, who is their chairman, and they reaffirmed that President Mohamed Bazoum remains the legitimate elected president and head of state of the Republic of Niger, and he is duly recognized by ECOWAS, the African Union, and the international community. My dear generals, permit me to make a quote from the communique for the sake of our meeting and for the very reason why you are here. Article 3 of the communique states that the authority of the heads of state and the government hereby direct the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements. The authority of heads of state and government hereby order the deployment of ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Diplomatic and other channels shall remain open for the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. All member states, and let me repeat, all member states, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, and the heads of all institutions of the community shall take necessary measures to ensure the full implementation of this decision. All member states shall take the necessary orders to ensure the full implementation of this decision. ECOWAS calls on UMWA and all other regional bodies to implement the decision. ECOWAS calls on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by ECOWAS on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations, to support ECOWAS in its efforts to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with normative instruments. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear generals, you and your dedicated and loyal troops today stand on the threshold of history as professionals who are being tasked to help the people of West Africa to enable them continue to elect their leaders through free, fair, and transparent general elections. I am of the firm belief that you, who form part of the most experienced soldiers within our sub-region, will put in place a strategic plan that will boost the confidence of our people and restore hope within our various countries. The spirit of our people in West Africa is with you as we meet here to put the plan in place which will meet the ECOWAS directives. Without trying to make a roll call, I am glad that the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria himself, the chairman, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ghana, the host, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ivory Coast is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Senegal is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Togo is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Benin is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Liberia is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Sierra Leone is present in this meeting, and the Chief of Defense Staff of Gambia is present in this meeting. Of course, ladies and gentlemen of the media, it's clear that Mali, who has a flag there, is not present. Guinea is not present. Niger is not present, and Burkina Faso is not present. These are the countries I mentioned were under sanctions and have been suspended. That is the reason they are not present. Of course, our brothers from Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde have genuine excuses why they are not there. They are not here. Your presence alone sounds and gives me a powerful message to the world. You are united in carrying out the directives of the heads of state and governments of ECOWAS, and that after today and tomorrow's meeting, you will put in place a plan to ensure that the standby is activated and that democracy will be restored in Niger. If presidential guards in Guinea and Niger, I will use the word, take hostage their president, nobody, and let me repeat, nobody in West Africa is safe. That is why I urge you to continue to be loyal to your heads of states. I urge you to continue to be loyal to ECOWAS directives and to give effect that the days that coup d'etats enjoy the support of our people are over. Yes, in democracy, people will agree to disagree. But the vast majority of our people, the vast majority of our people in West Africa do not want to be under the difficulties that we are facing today. You have the right, as men in uniform, to ask your governments for what you will need to be able to defend your nations. You have the right to ask your governments to give you the tools to defend the territorial integrities of your nations, to ensure that your nations remain peaceful. You have the right to ensure that your people choose your leaders in a free and fair manner. But the world will disagree. ECOWAS will disagree. The people of ECOWAS will disagree when you choose, or people under you choose, to take hostage the people that your constitution gives power to. Otherwise, all of us, including you, will not be safe. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I am very optimistic that between today and tomorrow, all of you will put your rich experiences together to be able to activate the ECOWAS standby force to enable you to respond adequately and swiftly to the demands placed on you by our heads of state. You did it in Liberia. You did it in Sierra Leone. You did it in the Gambia. You did it in the Guinea-Bissau. Of course, to some extent, the world did it in Côte d'Ivoire. And I believe that after Niger, and the world will see that West Africa is back to normal, and our people will begin to enjoy the life that they deserve. I wish you the best of luck In your 2-day deliberation, it will not be easy. Nobody wants to go for a conflict. In fact, nobody wants, no soldier, no CDS, no president want to see a soldier die under him. But when soldiers swear to defend their countries with their lives, they take that oath seriously. And when the authorities bestowed on you by the Constitution calls on you to exercise that mandate, so shall it be. Enjoy your short stay in Ghana, as you'll be needed back in your countries. And I say, Akwaba, Ayiko, and may God be our guide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Distinguished guests, shall we please give him another round of applause? And I wish to also seize the opportunity to thank all the other speakers for doing us the honor.